Good evening, everybody. Thank you all for coming out tonight. We're going to go ahead and call this meeting to order at 6:01.
The invocation this evening will be given by
Okay, now we're on. There we go. All right. Dear Lord, we come to your prayer again. Dear God, again, we thank you for your mercy and your grace, dear Lord, and thank you for the good day you've given us. I pray, dear God, again, you'd be with the mayor and each and every elected official that represents our city. I pray, God, you just give them the wisdom and the knowledge that they need to lead and guide our city, and just put a hedge of protection about them and their families. And dear God, again, we just thank you for the good day you've given us. Pray you give us a good night. In Jesus' name, amen.
Tonight's guest pledger is Brooke Richards. She's in the 8th grade at Lomax Junior High School, where she is an all-A honor roll student and is actively involved in the Student Council, Early Act Club, National Junior Honor Society, and National Junior Honor Society, of which she is the president. Brooke is also a student athlete and one of the few girls to play all 6 sports in both the 7th and 8th grades. Brooke aspires to be a pediatrician when she grows up. We welcome you and thank you.
The flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state under God, one and indivisible.
Item 3A, recognition of Donnie Poplaski as the Professional Manager of the Year for Public Fleet. I'm sorry, that is. Item 3A, recognition of Jeremy Borja, OEM Planner, for earning his bachelor's degree in Emergency and Disaster Management.
All right. Oh, there you go. Much better. All right. Today we're here to recognize Jeremy Borja, who's our emergency. Received his bachelor's in emergency and disaster management from the American Military University, and we are extremely excited to celebrate that with him today. Jeremy served our country for 20 years, and he continues to serve the city of LaPorte with that same honor and distinction. And so we're grateful to his service, but then also that's a significant accomplishment to also then graduate with your bachelor's in emergency management and disaster management. He has decided to continue on to get his master's in public administration at the University of Houston. He was there last Thursday, getting his student ID, getting registered for classes, and so we are excited for that and to see him continue excelling. Jeremy, in addition to his professional contributions, is a proud father of 3 to Gabby, Alex, and Jeremiah. Alex is here with us, right? Yeah, there you go, Alex. And then his wife, Jessica, is also watching live. She was a little bit under the weather today, but thank you and congratulations on your achievement. So round of applause. Excellent.
Item 3B is recognition of employees for years of service. I understand there are only 2 of these individuals here this evening, so I'll read all of their names and then we'll go in order. Teresa Riojas, Court Specialist, 15 years. Jeff Clemens, PD Sergeant, 20 years. Raul Andy Davila, Equipment Operator 2, 25 years. Yvonne Stanley, Patrol Officer, 30 years. Will the first of those named, will their director please step forward with them? Is Judge Bratton here with Teresa Riojas? Jeff Clemens with PD. Oh, there you are. Who's here? Andy Davila, Equipment Operator 2. Please step forward.
Yeah. In 2000, Andy began at Public Works in the utility department as utility operator, making water and sewer repairs. In 2004, he was promoted to utility operator 2. In 2008, he moved to the solid waste division where he began operating the rear loader truck, driving on the garbage collection route. Andy's been in that position since then. These guys work hard all throughout the year in all types of weather. We appreciate all the work that these employees perform. I want to thank Andy for his 25 years of dedicated service to the city of LaPorte. Thank you. Jeez.
Thank you.
Yvonne Stanley, Patrol Officer, 30 years.
So this is recognition of 30 years of service, but also day one of her retirement. She recently retired as of last Friday. Yvonne is officially. Look, so some officers' retirement hit harder than others. Yvonne had played a big role in the police department. Probably more than anything, I think she held a lot of jobs at the PD throughout her 30 years, but I think probably what Yvonne is best known for was her work at the school as a dare officer. How many years were you over as a dare officer?
A lot.
A lot of years. And just the lives that she touched and impacted over at Baker Middle School. She'll always be remembered for that. And I told her that in her retirement ceremony that she'll probably never fully understand the impact that she had on the lives of those kids growing up. And anybody that's worked over there at the school district, just such a huge job, and it's so important. And we couldn't thank Yvonne enough, not only for 30 years of service.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Item 4 is citizen comment. The Texas Open Meetings Act prohibits the members of the City Council from responding to or speaking about any item that has not been properly posted. Officer, insulting or slanderous language about anyone, council person or not, may be cause for termination of speaking privileges and removal from the council chamber. Please step to the podium when you are recognized and clearly state your name and address. Your comments are limited to 5 minutes. Remember that all speakers' comments or debate must be directed to or through the chair, not to the room at large or any other attendees.
April Baggett. Ms. Baggett, are you wanting to talk about 7A? Okay, if you talk now, you're going to be limited to 5 minutes. If you talk during the public hearing, you can have as long as you want. Does it make a difference to you?
No, sir.
Okay, all right.
I can wait until,
It's up to you what you want to do.
okay, I'll wait.
You'll wait?
Yes,
Okay,
sir. Thank
Okay.
you.
you're welcome. John Baggett? you want to speak now, or you want to wait till we address this in public hearing?
I'll go ahead and wait too.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Item 5A, receive a presentation from Planning and regarding the city's code enforcement process.
Good evening, Mayor, members of council. Ryan Vietlook, Director of Planning and Development. Want to take a little bit of time to kind of go over and kind of review what the city's code enforcement procedure is. We get a lot of questions about kind of how we find violations, how we deal with them once we find them. If you all will remember, during the most recent citizen survey, that was one of the hot topics that the residents had identified. And so I just kind of want to take this opportunity to just sort of walk through and kind of pull that curtain back. So. Sorry, let me pull it up here real quick. My apologies. That's it right there.
Matt, you know any good dad jokes while we're waiting?
Chief Communic has some.
I've heard hers. I don't know if we can say that in Hey, Crow, how did the 6U do? Third place? All right, good deal. That's good.
There we go. So that works. My apologies about that. Thought that would have been pulled up. So kind of want to start a little bit with what the overview of the code enforcement, how we staff it, and how it fits in with my department's organization. So planning and development, we employ 3 community service inspectors. These inspectors, they conduct daily patrols of the city, identifying code violations, responding to concerns and complaints, and general education of residents, building, property owners, things along those sorts. This is not done in a vacuum. Our inspectors do work very closely with the Building and Inspections Division, our Fire Marshal's Office, City Engineer, Public Works, Planning, as well as LaPorte Police Department to properly cite code violations and address citizen complaints. Our city is split into 2 zones, and we have an inspector that's assigned to each of those zones. And then we do have a third inspector, and what she is responsible for is inspecting all commercial properties within the city, as well as inspecting for SCUP compliance. That is a big thing that we've fairly recently added. There was not a really great way to ensure that folks were actually following up on that. So our third inspector, that is one of her main priorities. So here is the enforcement map. It is not, there we go, it's a little bit better. So rough, mostly the north of that, and then south of that is our other inspector. And then along Broadway, the residential area that is north of Fairmont is also in District 1. So on an average week, our officers, they spend about 70% of their time driving around doing inspections, re-inspections, visiting sites, responding to complaints, things along those lines. About 20% of their time is follow-up activities, so doing research on the code, maybe working with our legal representative. as well as preparing violation letters, doing callbacks of folks who've complained, as well as following up with phone calls from owners. And then 10% of the time are bandit sign pickups. So bandit signs are those signs that you see, I like to call them the We Buy Ugly Houses signs. They're the ones that are stuck to power poles, or they're stuck you'll see here shortly some statistics of how prolific that issue is within the city. So on a daily basis, our inspectors address all sorts of things. So the first kind of major one they inspect or address are nuisance violations. That would be our high grass and weeds, trash and debris, stagnant water, standing water, or pools, and exterior storage. These are kind of a separate unique violation, as they are typically going to be the issues that are going to be of an issue to health and safety, harboring snakes, vermin, mosquitoes, those type of things. So they do have, it's obviously more seasonal. And so this time of year, that's one of their major things they do. Also, they will inspect for junk vehicles, just as we get this question a lot. What about boats? Boats are not considered junk vehicles. They are considered, if they are not running or if they're broken, we would consider that similar to exterior storage, but they're not actually regulated under the state transportation code, so they are not junk vehicles. Yard parking, so parking on the grass, that is a major one. Work without permit or building code violations, general zoning violations, early trash placement, and then our friend there, bandit signs. So our inspectors are also assist city facility. They will also do kennel inspections in conjunction with animal control. They do inspections for alcohol permit, group home daycares, and then also donation collection bins, making sure that those stay clean and are not becoming just a dumping ground for unwanted materials. So a lot of folks are like, okay, what does it actually take to become a code officer? It is a very, very stringent requirement. I've worked in lots of different states, and I'll tell you, Texas is one of the only ones that code officers are actually licensed by the state. The Texas Department of Licensing and Regulation, they oversee the code enforcement officer program. An inspector has to be employed by a city, county, or state. They have to attend a 40-hour basic code enforcement officer course and pass the final exam for that course. They also have to pass a state administrated code enforcement officer certification test 1 year after passing the state test. And then once they meet all of that, they can apply to become an actual licensed code enforcement officer. So I know a lot of folks are like, oh, there's just folks just driving around. No, these folks our folks are incredibly well trained, have tons of certifications, and we'll get into that here in a second. So once you become a licensed code enforcement officer, kind of the next step is you can become a code enforcement officer too. And that is with an additional year of experience and taking a course through the Code Enforcement Association of Texas. Our officers also have ICC International Code Council certifications in property maintenance and housing inspection, zoning inspections, and residential building inspectors. And then there's also some additional certifications that folks can get, which I'll get into here in a second. Code officers are held to an incredibly high standard. As I mentioned, they are licensed by the state. They are required to attend 12 hours of continuing education every 2 years. And any person could file a complaint with TDL scope or is practicing in an unethical way. TDLR will investigate, and there can be penalties with that. And then another thing to keep in mind is that code enforcement officers, they can be sued civilly, separate from any city lawsuits for illegal or unethical behavior. So again, top of their profession, and that's something that we're incredibly proud of. So we have 3 inspectors. The first one is Gary Gordon. As you can see here, he has several certifications. Swimming pool inspector. He has about 20 years of public service experience, including 13 years in code enforcement. So he has been with the city for 6.5 years. We were enforcement license. He has about 10.5 years of experience, including 8.5 years of code enforcement, with 2.5 years here with the city of LaPorte. And then Ashley Rosemond, who is our inspector. She is the one who's our commercial inspector and does our enforcement license and has been about 2 years. So now that you kind of know the big question we get. So there's kind of a lot going on here, but there's several steps. So the first kind of intake we get is we will receive a complaint, or an officer will go out and notice a violation. They identify it, they inspect it, and then they will actually verify that it is a violation and document it, take pictures,
Got a question.
things like that. Of course.
What if the complaint involves, let's say, a swimming pool in a citizen's backyard, the backyard is fenced. The complaint is that it smells bad, there's mosquitoes and the water's stagnant. Do you guys have authority to go into that backyard, or how do you inspect that property?
So we'll get into that, but no, typically if it is fenced, we typically cannot go in there unless we have probable cause, and we'd have to get a warrant and go to municipal court and get a warrant for that. So we do have some avenues to do that, but typically no, we can't just enforce against it. We'd have to actually obtain a warrant to be able to go into kind of the private part of the property. So once we have determined that it is a violation, we will send out a violation notice and or a warning letter, we call it. Most of those violations get a 10-day cure period. This is an important step because our code does allow that once you have been sent a violation notice or a warning letter, if you commit the same violation within a year, we can move directly to step 5 here, which is initiating legal action, sending a citation. So we're able to speed that process up a little bit more. You kind of get one warning, and then after that, you've been placed on notice, and we'll go through the court process. So after the 10 days are up, we do go back out, we do a reinspection. If the violation is still there, we do initiate legal action and we forward that to municipal court. Our city prosecutor will then prepare the complaint. And then the court will actually prepare and mail the summons. So this is typically about 5 weeks from the case initiation, so step 5, to about the court date. So these cases take some time. There's due process. One of the things that we really try to we want to work with the property owners. We don't want to take people to court, and I would say about 95+% of our violations never see the inside of the municipal courtroom. And so we always do try to continue to work with that property owner prior to them going to court. But if we're not getting compliance, the next step would be arraignment. And then the court will then decide what to do with that. And I'll go over kind of what some of those steps are. I do want to note that some of the violations, typically the ones I was talking about, the nuisance violations, we are able to abate those outside of the court process. So high grass and weeds, things like that, we can cut the grass, and then we send we will enter a lien onto the property. So some of those ones where it's a little bit more timely, we actually do have some avenues of where we can abate those outside the court process. So what happens, once there's a violation, if the judge finds that you are in violation? So we can, the court can fine folks. There is some limitation on how much the court can fine. The court can also order to abate the violation. So basically that would mean correct the violation. The city, we can pursue injunctive relief and abatement through Harris County District Court. The city, we have the ability to sue a defendant if we need to in order to abate that violation. One of the big questions we get, or one of the sort of misconceptions we get, is, oh, well, the city's gonna, is throwing people in jail for violating codes. That is not what happens. If you ever seen the inside of a jail cell, it's probably because you have not followed a court order, being held in contempt, something like that. But no, the city is not not putting people in jail for violating So to kind of get back to what Council Member Martin was asking about, So where can our inspectors go? So typically violations have to be documented from the public point of view, the public right of way. Quote is where the mailman would go. Now there's a little bit of gray area with that, but generally sidewalk, driveway, walkway, front porch, those type of things. If we can see it from the street, we can issue a violation on that. We cannot look over someone's privacy fence. We cannot lift a car cover to see if a vehicle's registration is expired or missing. And that goes all back to the Fourth Amendment. Constitutional right there. Inspectors can only access areas that a reasonable person would have access to for the purpose of verifying or documenting a violation. We can observe property owner, and then if all else fails, if there's a violation, we can go through the process of getting an administrative search warrant if there is probable cause. So again, we have some avenues, but typically the rule of thumb is if we could see it, and that could even mean if a piece of the privacy fence is down and we can see into the backyard from the street, that can be enough for us to actually enter into a violation. So there are different ways that we're able to do it, but generally it is if you can see it from the public street, then it's open for enforcement. One of the other big questions we talk a lot about, and we'll have several this evening, is our dangerous building process. So dangerous buildings, as our chief building officials likes to say, just because the building is ugly doesn't mean it's a dangerous building. There's very clear standards on that. And so one of the issues we do run into, though, is a lot of our dangerous buildings are vacant properties. And so it can take a while for us to find the property owner, serve the proper notice. And so because of that, violations can exist for a while. We do have a new tool in our tool belt, which I'll talk about here a little bit later in this presentation, which hopefully will speed some of this up and get some relief to some of the concerned neighbors. Our chief building official, fire marshal, and fire chief, they determine if the property meets the definition of a dangerous building. Staff would then add that property to the list of potentially dangerous buildings. And then that comes to city council, where city council then makes the determination, is it a dangerous building and is it needing to be demolished? Another hot topic is off-street parking. So there's kind of two different ways to think about this. So if you are looking at the property, and if you go from the street into the property, anything that is within that property is under the jurisdiction of our code enforcement inspectors. Anything in the right of way is typically going to be the police department. Be to tow a vehicle that may be an illegal vehicle or illegal parking. Just a quick reminder, our code does not allow for off-street parking on grass. It does not allow for parking of vehicles on the front lawn of the grass or in the grass on the front lawn. There is some things that allow parking in the rear of the property and things like that, but generally, yes, you cannot park on the grass as you can see in these pictures here.
Does that include boats?
So our code is, so boats and RVs and things like that can park, but in the front yard, but they need to be on an improved surface. And then side, you can't park at all in the side yard. And then in the rear, you can park, but you don't need to have an improved surface for that. We take a lot of bandit signs. Our inspectors removed 863 signs from the public right-of-way last year, and so far in 2025, and this PowerPoint's a couple of weeks old, 637 bandit signs. We do not remove signs that are on private property. We'll only remove signs that are in the right-of-way. So basically that would be if you look at where the sidewalk is, from the sidewalk out to the street, or if there's no sidewalk, where the power poles are out to the street is typically the rule of thumb for the right-of-way. Our inspectors will coordinate with our building inspectors to remove signs when they're out in the field. Bandit signs are very, very difficult to proactively address because most of them will only list a phone number. And we can do research, but it's very hard to actually tie who's responsible for it. So we just take those signs and we dispose of them. So we have made a couple of recent service improvements. The one thing that we are really continuing to encourage folks to use is the Laporte support app. This does allow for residents to submit code enforcement concerns for investigation. I gave this presentation last week to the Homeowners Association Roundtable and had heard some very positive feedback that folks have said when they utilize that app, they are able to get a response back within a couple of hours. So strongly encourage folks to utilize that. It goes to lots of different people within the city, so a lot of ways for us to track and make sure that that issue is being investigated. Community event signs, we don't pick up signs associated with community events or children's sports leagues. That's more of an education thing. We'll call them and say, hey, did you know you're not supposed to do that? And they usually will typically move those where they need to go. Garage sale signs, we pick those up on Monday, but we try not to pick them up prior to. That I did want to talk about a little bit is, so recently the city did adopt the International Property Maintenance Code. This is a new tool that's in our toolbox that we can use to address properties and structures in disrepair. And the hope is that we'll be able to address these issues before a structure gets into the dangerous buildings phase. So a great example would be broken windows. If there's a property that has broken windows, we can utilize the International Property Maintenance Code to address that. And the hope is, because we all know what happens, things like that, and eventually the building ends up falling into disrepair quicker and quicker. So again, the hope is that we can actually use some tools within our code to hopefully not get it to the point of where it's a dangerous building and there's really no way to save the building. We want to make sure, as Richard likes to say, we always prefer compliance over condemnation. And then another thing that this is very new, we just started this in June, is expanded inspection hours. One of the things we kind of had heard from folks through the grapevine was, oh, well, I'll just wait till Saturday to do things. There's nobody that works in the inspections department on Saturday. And so we have actually started weeknight and weekend inspections. We do approximately 8 additional hours of inspections a week. And then since the beginning of June, and again, this is almost a month old now, we found 144 violations with an average of 14 per inspection shift. Most of those would be yard parking, followed by high grass, and then work without a permit. This is to provide more transparency and citizen interactions, as well as to kind of get rid of any of the kind of back and forth he said, she said type of interactions that we have. It makes sure that everybody kind of knows what's going on, and so folks will begin to see our inspectors when they're out in the field wearing those cameras. And then finally, our Code Ambassador program. We are looking at starting a volunteer program that would assist in just the identification of code violations. Would still require an actual code officer to go out to confirm that it is a violation and prepare any of the actual violations, but it is kind of a force multiplier. It allows us to get more places. And we have a great community with lots of folks that are always very interested in helping making LaPorte a better place. And so we are looking at what it would take to start that volunteer program. And with that, I'm happy to answer any questions or receive any feedback from y'all.
If you get a request to investigate and you determine that it's not a code violation, but it's a law enforcement violation, do you automatically refer that to the police?
Yeah, we do. We work very closely with the police department's PAR officers, and we will reach out to them if it ends up being a police issue.
So the citizen doesn't have to decide that you'll do that.
Yep. Yeah, we will. We will transfer that over to whatever department it needs to be addressed with. All right.
Mr. Bentley?
Ryan, that was a very good presentation. Second time around, very good. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Just want to suggest on your Code Enforcement Ambassador program, we've had quite a few people that signed up for the Keep LaPorte Beautiful program. Might be able to recruit some people from that to go around, pick up bandit signs, that kind of, just a suggestion.
Absolutely. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Item 6, consent agenda. Item 6A, approve the minutes of the regular city council meeting held on July 14th, 2025. Item 6B, approve the purchase and installation of turf play area and associated improvements for 5 Points Plaza from Craftsman through buy board contract $168,239.30 and a contingency amount of $16,823.93 for a total authorization of $185,063.23. Item 6C, approve a 2.31% under the contract between the City of LaPorte, Texas and GFL Environmental to take effect on November 1st, 2025. Item 6D, receive a report from the tax assessor regarding the anticipated combined 2025 ad valorem tax collection rate for the City of LaPorte, Texas. Item 6E, approve the 2025-2026 Youth Advisory Council appointees.
Make a motion, we accept the consent agenda as it's presented.
We have a motion by Mr. Engelka and a second by Mr. Bentley. All in favor, say aye. Any opposed? Motion carries.
Item 7A, the City Council will hold a public hearing to receive comment on the adoption of Ordinance 2025-4092, ordering the condemnation of dangerous substandard structures located at 114 South Iowa Street, LaPorte, Texas, followed by discussion and possible action on the same.
We'll open the public hearing. 6:38.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. At the council meeting on April 21st, 2025, the council instructed staff to provide a 60-day update on the status of the property located at 114 South Iowa. At the council meeting on June 28th, 2025, the council instructed staff to hold a public hearing and consider 114 South Iowa Street a dangerous substandard building. As of July 7th, 2025, the property has an outstanding tax balance of $1,303.69. So as you can see, at 114 South Iowa, they've done a large amount of work since the last meeting. They've redone the front, they've added new siding, they've added paint, they fixed the windows, they've added new doors. Some of the concerns that we still have are the blocks aren't designed to carry loads in this orientation. The blocks should be vertical instead of horizontal. There's another showing the vertical blocks horizontal instead of vertical, and the lack of proper footing underneath the piers. So these piers, according to the plans that they drew up and they submitted and they were approved, that shows CMU, these show brick. So this also has lack of proper footing under the piers. At this corner support at the L, there should be bracing underneath that, which could lead to potential sagging, cracking, and uneven settlement over time. Inside, they have made some progress. They've added the framing, they've added new electrical, so they have been doing work inside as well. They've replaced some of the rotten wood that still needs to be replaced. Some more areas that needing repairs. Some more areas. So staff performed a site visit on July 22nd and the 23rd for updated photographs. A significant amount of work has begun to bring the property into compliance. Staff still has the following concerns. The piers are improper. Rotten wood still needs to be replaced. Areas being constructed not matching approved plans. Now, the property owner did say they were going to submit new plans. We just have not received them yet. So they are working on a new set of plans to match what they have, and I believe they are here to speak if you have any questions for them.
Does the property owner want to come speak?
Good evening.
If you state your name and address into the microphone, please.
My name is Robert Benz, 2104 Rolling Hills Drive, Pearland, Texas. I'm the attorney here to represent the property owner.
Hector Ayano, Laporte Roofing and Remodeling, 312 West Main Street, Laporte, Texas, 77571. I'm the contractor on the job.
Preston Brown, 5413 McCulloch Street in Houston, Texas.
You guys are clearly very familiar with this property. You asked for a status update, and as Richard said, there has been substantial work done. Right now, what we're waiting on is the last plans to finish the work. That should be given to us by the engineer in the next 1 to 2 weeks. And we're on track to meet the target date of completion in September. Do you
Sure.
guys have any specific questions?
Do you have any questions? Here?
Yeah, I have a question concerning the piers. What are y'all gonna do about that?
Regarding the pier, sir, we're just waiting for the new plans from the engineer. We're just trying to do exactly what they want us to do, with their guidance. So right now, as soon as we get those plans that are finished, whatever they suggest to be in compliance is what we're gonna take care of. We did not want to proceed with doing any work that was outside of the permit approval.
Okay, so placed in the wrong direction, am I correct on that?
Some of them, yes.
And I can understand where you would need to place them the other way, because that'd be load bearing. So that's my concern is, so we plan on taking care of that, where we don't have a sagging house and that we have to deal with again in 2 or 3 years?
We are taking care of that.
Just a quick comment regarding the compliance. For all the work that has been done, we have the WPI once, which is the application, so you have it in compliance for windstorm. All that has been submitted for the roofing, framing, and siding.
Mr. McCauley?
I have a question for Richard, if you don't mind. Richard, with all this work that's been done and plans submitted and potential plans being submitted, would this still be considered a dangerous building and more of a permitting issue as they go through the steps?
Well, I think some of our concerns that would potentially consider as dangerous is there's still a lot of termite infested wood that they are removing, but it's not been removed yet. And I still have concerns about the foundation, the piers. So until they fix those, kind of what we did last time was we took it off and stuff didn't get repaired in a timely manner, which is why we brought it back on. So if we were to let them finish it before we were to remove it, that would ensure that it gets done and we wouldn't have to bring it back again in order to go through all this again.
What's
So there
that-
are, I'm sorry.
What's
There
your
are-
recommendation on it?
Well, there are
as it is?
still concerns that we want to see fixed before we took it off, because I want to see the piers fixed and I'd like to see all that rotted termite wood removed.
Okay, so then back to them, what's your timeline on taking care of what Richard's concerns are?
Our target is September and we're on track for that. We're just waiting on those last engineering drawings. We've been pushing on the engineer. He said he'll get them to us in the next 1 to 2 weeks.
So 60 days would serve you well?
Yes, sir.
Could we do 90? Because we had 60 last time, and I just want to give us as much buffer as we can. That's possible.
Okay, thanks. I don't have any problem with 90. As we're seeing some movement on this, once we see a halt, then it creates issues. But seeing movement on this,
Condemnation. So we are making progress and we're working hard.
Any other questions for him? All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Real quick, Richard, I think initially this building was a duplex, but that's out of compliance with that area, is that correct?
Correct. The new drawings do not show it as a duplex. It is a
Okay,
single
great.
family.
Thank you.
Any other questions? All right, thank you, gentlemen. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Mr. and Mrs. Baggett? If you'd state your name and address, please.
My name is April Baggett. My address is 111 South Virginia Street. I'm the property that's directly behind this particular property. And I know the last council meeting I came to, that property was to be condemned. And since then, they're still working on it and apparently got an extension to make improvements. And they said it's not gonna, because it's duplex property, not zoned for that, but to this day, including in the photos you just saw, it's got 2 addresses posted on that house. It's got 114 and 112 posted in the windows of that house. So to me, that still looks like it's 2 properties, not 1. And I'm still concerned because my property through several years now has suffered damage for the people that has always been renting that property. And I just need to know, like, I don't have anything against rental property. I just need building owners, property owners that's gonna maintain property. Because for several years, as the city knows, that property's just been falling apart. It's been a drug haven, prostitution, everything coming out of the house. I suffer property damage at my home from all of that. And I don't want to continue down that road. And seeing how the construction is going, it just looks like cosmetic work. It doesn't look like it's going back properly to where it's just going to wind up exactly back the way it is today in a matter of a few years. And I invest a lot of money in my property and maintain it and been living in it for over 30 years. I've raised 3 kids in that house. I got grown children. This is my home. This is my children's home. I'm not leaving LaPorte. That house stays empty, occupied, and it just continues to just turn into a dilapidated building. And I'm ready for it to not be there, you know, and I'm not leaving. I've been here for over 30 years. I own a property and I take care of my property. I've just invested over $230,000 in my properties. So I'm not going anywhere. And I would just like for the property around me to be maintained. And I mean, I live right at 5 Points. The city of LaPorte is investing hundreds of thousands of dollars for improvements at 5 Points. My house is right there in the middle of 5 Points. So I'm trying to help keep LaPorte beautiful and nice and maintain the. That's all.
Thank you. Mr. Maggot?
I can't improve on what she said.
Okay, all right, fair enough. Richard, would you address the 2 addresses?
So in our system, we only recognize it as 114 South Iowa. So the 112 is not in our system to be recognized. So it is only one. And we also have the drawings that show it will only be a single family residence. So, I mean, the drawings are available as a public record. Anybody wants to see them at any time, they're more than welcome. To ensure that it's not separated into 2 separate buildings, it needs to be open and accessible from the entire house.
Okay, all right. Anybody else want to speak on this topic that didn't sign up? All right, thank you. We'll close the public hearing at 6:48. Mr. Guerra? You wanna- Microphone.
I'd like to bring the gentleman up there. I've got a couple other questions to ask him if it's possible.
Okay, we're good. Okay, go ahead. We're good.
So I understand y'all are remodeling this home. Is it, and I know that's y'all's business to do, to refurbish and remodel homes. Is this rental property or is this property for sale?
It will be a rental property.
Will be a rental property, and who's gonna be and who's responsible for the maintenance of this property?
Me, or my business, Wayme Investments. That's what it's
Okay, so
called.
you'll be responsible for painting the property, you'll be responsible for the upkeep of the property, the yard and all that stuff.
Yes,
I
the
mean,
yard
let me
will,
put it to you this way, if your tenant doesn't take care, if your tenant doesn't take care, let's just say
Absolutely.
the grass or it's overgrown, it falls back on you, correct?
yes, sir.
They've invested a lot into the property, and it'd be a waste of that investment to let it fall into disrepair. Just like the speaker invested a lot in hers, these guys aren't gonna let their property fall apart.
And I understand that, but also you gotta understand that I tend to go with what my guy says, and I'm still seeing a lot of rotten wood in the pictures. So, you know, that's what I'm looking at. That's what I'm also looking at. You know, you can sit there and, trying to keep the police vocabulary out of it. But, I'm trying, you can paint something to make it look pretty, but if underneath it's rotten, pretty's gonna fall.
Yeah, and that's why it's still open, because we're aware that we need to replace that extra framing, and that's on the contractor's list of stuff to do next.
Okay.
Mr. Guerra, excuse me. We've had a couple delays just because we wanted clarity on the inspections process. I've attended some of the things that the city has held at Sylvan Beach just to get clarity on when we can continue, when we can't. And, you know, we've stopped when we felt that it was beyond what was approved. But as soon as we get the green light on that, all that's gonna be taken care of.
Okay.
And if the city wants to verify that all of that rotten wood is removed before any walls go up, that's great.
Excellent. That would be nice for my art inspector to do that. Thank you.
That's actually one of our required inspections before they cover the walls. We will need to inspect it. Also, for a little clarity, Mr. Brown and I have been in constant communication, so I mean, I've got access to him and he's got access to me if there's are any issues.
I just want to make sure that it doesn't come back to us again, so.
Did you want to make a motion?
Yeah, I'll go ahead and make a motion that we go ahead and give them the 90 days, and this is it. I'm sorry. Motion to postpone it for 90 days.
Second.
All right, Ms. Williams beat you. All right, we got a motion by Mr. Guerra, a second by Ms. Williams. All in favor, say aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Richard.
Thank you.
No, good. Okay.
Item 7B, the city council will hold a public hearing to receive comment on the adoption of ordinance 2025-4077, ordering the condemnation of dangerous substandard structures located at 401 South Carroll Street, LaPorte, Texas, followed by discussion and possible action on the same.
We'll open the public hearing at 6:52.
At the council meeting on June 9th, 2025, the council instructed staff to provide a 45-day update on the status of the property located at 401 South Carroll. Currently, they have $657.46 of outstanding taxes and $2,318.01 of outstanding liens. So they have brought everything into compliance. The siding has been replaced and secured. The debris has been cleaned up. So here's pictures of all the aluminum replaced. We went and inspected it and made sure that it was secured properly. Placed and secured. The little accessory structure, the little shed next door was also repaired. Here's a picture of the roof that was missing numerous panels in the last picture. The roof has been repaired. The last little section he has to do, the aluminum's right there. He just needs to add it. And these were taken on the 22nd. He may have had these up by now. So everything has been brought into compliance. So staff has no further issues with this property.
Okay. Is the property owner here?
I do not know if the property owner is here. I do not believe so.
Does anybody want to speak on this property? All right. Oh, we'll close the public hearing then at 6:53.
So I guess I'm gonna make a motion to take this off the dangerous field list. We need to do nothing.
Yeah, done.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Item 7C, the city council will hold a public hearing to receive comments regarding a recommendation by the Planning and Zoning Commission to deny adoption of ordinance 2025-4088. My apologies, item C was pulled from before the meeting and will not be considered. Item 7D, the city council will hold a public hearing to receive comments regarding a recommendation by the Planning and Zoning Commission to adopt or for approval of future land use map amendment, FLUP 2025-0008, for a city-initiated FLUP amendment from general commercial to medium-density residential on approximately 0.29 acres of land generally located along the east side of North First Street between West Madison Street to the south and West Barbers Cut Boulevard to the north. HCAD parcels 02321800080009 and 02321800800012, LaPorte, Harris County, Texas, followed by discussion and possible action on the same.
We'll open the public hearing at 6:55.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor. Yes, before you this evening is a small piece of property. This is located on the east side of North First Street between West Madison to the south and West Barbers Cut Boulevard to the north. The subject property is located currently within the general commercial zoning district. As you can see, though, it is surrounded basically by R2 properties to the north, south, and west. To the east is zone general commercial. The future land use designation for the comprehensive plan is general commercial, and that is the reason why we are requesting this future land use map amendment this evening. We did mail 47 notices to 3 properties within 300 feet of the site, and we did not receive any notices or any response. And Planning and Zoning Commission did vote on a motion to recommend approval of this from changing it from general commercial to medium density residential for this property, and that motion did pass 7-0. And staff's happy to answer any questions you may have.
Anybody have any question? Anybody in the audience want to speak on this property? All right, well. Yeah, it's your district.
I'll go ahead and make a motion to go ahead and change it from commercial to, what is it, low density residential?
Medium density.
This is the amendment to the future land use
Yes.
plan.
You just want to adopt the ordinance.
Yes, I want to adopt you.
There you go.
Just say that.
Okay.
Second.
We've got a motion by Mr. Guerra, second by Ms. Williams. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Comment.
Ms. Williams?
I know that we mentioned that we'd like to stop, I call it. We've mentioned in the past wanting to not nickel and dime these things and onesie twosie them. If the council has an appetite for it in the future, I'll volunteer to be on that committee. I won't head it up, but I will volunteer to look at those properties in the future. These things are all over town. Just feel like it'd be better to clean them up. P&Z was doing it for a while, but I don't know when the last time they've had that was.
Okay. Ryan, I know this is a little off topic, but wasn't your group looking at these?
We are, yes. So thank you for mentioning that. We did receive some direction from PNC at their last meeting. They'd like for us to take a look at that. We have begun some analysis of it, looking at the state and what Harris County appraises them as, and then figuring out what the zoning is, figuring out where there might be some of these inconsistencies. So yes, we will begin that. The trick with it, or the I won't say it's an issue, but one of the things that we really want to make sure we're getting the property owners that they're okay with it, and so that does take a little bit of time for us to reach out to those folks, but we are beginning to do that analysis. So I would imagine you will see more of these rezonings, but I would imagine they will be in a larger area than just a single property here or there.
Well, you have a volunteer with Ms. Williams, apparently. I said he has a volunteer with you, right? Okay, good.
Wonderful.
Clerk, it's all yours.
Ordinance 2025-4089, an ordinance adopting an update to the future land use map component of the comprehensive plan of the city of LaPorte, Texas, upon recommendation of the Planning and Zoning Commission of the city of LaPorte, Texas, by changing the designation of approximately 0.29 acres of land generally located along the east side of North First Street in between West Madison Street to the south, West Barbers Cut Boulevard to the north, and legally described as lots 9 through 12, block 108, LaPorte, Harris County, Texas, from general commercial to medium density residential, making certain findings of fact related to the subject, finding compliance with the open meetings law, providing an effective date.
Thank you, sir.
Item 7E, the City Council will hold a public hearing to receive comments regarding a recommendation by the Planning and Zoning Commission to adopt ordinance 2025-4090 for approval of zone change ZC 2025-0008 for a city-initiated zone change, changing the zoning classification from general commercial to mid-density residential for properties generally located on the east side of North First Street between West Madison Street to the south and West Barbers Cut Boulevard to the north, HCAD parcels 02321800800009 and 02321800800012, LaPorte, Harris County, Texas, followed by discussion and possible action on the same.
We'll open the public hearing at 7:01.
Thank you very much. Again, this is the rezoning part of what you just did with the future land use map, so I won't belabor this too much. As I mentioned, so this would be just a carryover for that, as well as the existing uses that are on the property. This would allow for them to continue that use. Planning and Zoning Commission did vote to recommend a motion of approval for zone change 2025-008 from general commercial to mid-density residential. And this motion did pass with a vote of 7-0. And staff's happy to answer any questions you may have.
All right, anybody got any questions? Anybody in the audience want to speak on this? All right, we will close the public hearing at 7:02.
I'll go ahead and make the motion that we adopt the ordinance as it's.
Second.
All right, we have a motion by Mr. Guerra. We have a second by Ms. Williams. All in favor, say aye. Any opposed? Motion carries.
Ordinance 2025-4090, an ordinance amending Chapter 106 zoning of the Code of Ordinances of the City of LaPorte by changing the zoning classification of approximately 0.29 acres of land generally located on the east side of North First Street between West Madison Street to the south and West Barbara Scott Boulevard to the north, and legally described as lots 9 through 12, Block 108, LaPorte, from general commercial to mid-density residential, R2, making findings of fact related to the subject, finding compliance with the open meetings law, and providing an effective date.
Item 8A, presentation, discussion, and possible action to adopt ordinance 2025-4091, amending section 2-81 of the LaPorte contract for expenditures, space limits.
Mr. Matt?
Mayor and Council, thank you. During the 2025 legislative session, the legislature amended section 252.002 of the Texas Local Government Code with the dollar value threshold for requiring that municipal contracts be subject to competitive seal bids or proposals raised from $50,000 to $100,000. At the city level, section 5.02 of the city charter requires all purchases made and contracts executed by the city shall be made in accordance with the requirements of this charter and all applicable requirements of the Constitution and statutes of the state of Texas. All contracts for purchase and expenditures must be expressly approved in advance by the council, except that the council may by ordinance confer upon the city manager general authority to contract for expenditures without further approval of the council for all budgeted items, the cost of which does not exceed the constitutional and statutory requirements for competitive bidding. Section 2-82 of our Code of Ordinance was worded to formally adopt provisions of Chapter 252 of the Local Government Code and allow Chapter 252 to supersede the city charter. By doing so, it also has the effect of automatically adjusting the dollar value threshold for city contracts to match any increases incorporated into state law without city council action. On January 14th of 2004, City Council passed Ordinance 2004-2736-A, amending Section 281 of the code, authority of the city manager to contract for expenditures limits pursuant to the provisions of Section 5.02 of the Charter regarding purchases procedures. The City Council hereby confers upon the city manager general authority to contract for expenditures without further approval of City Council for budget items not to exceed $50,000. All contracts for expenditures involving more than $50,000 must be expressly approved by City Council. With the recent legislative action, administrative staff proposes ordinance 2025-4091, amending section 2-81 of the code, authority of city manager contract for expenditure limits, pursuant to the provisions of charter section 5.02 regarding purchases procedures. City council will hereby confer upon the city manager general authority to contract for expenditures without further approval of the city council for budgeted items, and we will strike through not exceeding 50,000 and add the language, the cost of which does not exceed the Constitution and our statutory thresholds for competitive sealed bidding of competitive sealed proposals. All contracts for expenditures, and then strike through involving more than 50,000 will be struck and added in excess of constitutional and our statutory thresholds for competitive sealed bidding of competitive sealed proposals must be expressly approved by city council. To automatically update any changes made to section 252 of the local government code in alignment with section 502 of the city charter and section 282 of our code of ordinances. If passed this evening, the dollar threshold for requiring municipal contracts will be subject to the competitive sealed bid proposals would raise from 50 to 100,000 effective September 1st, 2025. That's a lot, I'm sorry. With that, I'll answer any questions.
Clark got his money's worth out of that. Dang.
He wrote the ordinance. In essence, we won't have to, with inflation, when the legislature changes the limits, we won't have to come back to council. It'll automatically be raised to the statutory limit of the state.
Anybody have any questions for Mr. Dahmer?
Yeah, I just
Mr.
more
Ingleton?
have a comment. How many times has this happened? Just from 50
So,
to 100,000?
The last time we changed it was 2004. Before that, I don't have the exact date, but it went from 15,000 at one point to 25,000. In 2004, we went to 50,000, and now they've raised it to 100. And I would think with the inflation that we've seen since COVID, it's right in line, if not a little under what inflation has been.
It was at 50,000 for a long time. A long time.
It was 50,000, 21 years.
Yeah, long time.
In essence, it'll help make some of these meetings a little shorter.
I'll make a motion that we accept as presented.
We have a motion by Mr. Ingleton and a second by Mr. McCauley. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Go
This
ahead.
is ordinance 2025-4091, an ordinance amending Chapter 2, Administration of the Code of Ordinances of the City of LaPorte, Texas by amending Section 2-81, Authority of City Manager to Contract for Expenditures limits by defining limits of city manager purchasing authority based on amounts, state rules for competitive bidding and proposals, providing a repealing clause and a severability clause, finding compliance with the Open Meetings Act, and providing an effective date.
Item 8B, presentation, discussion, and possible action to provide administrative staff with direction on city logo placement on overpass structures at Fairmont Parkway and Wharton Weems in conjunction with State Highway 146 construction project.
All right, Mr. Ray.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Some of you remember this item as coming to you before in 2021. We thought it would be important to bring it back. Some of you weren't here at that time. Also, we're getting ready to go out for bid for the fabrication. We want to make sure we get it right, because it's going to be around for a while. So basically, there's going to be at 2 locations, Wharton Weems and Fairmont Parkway, 2 placements at each intersection, northbound and southbound. There in 2021. The background designs have already been incorporated into the retaining walls. So you kind of see the engineers. And this is the actual wall at Wharton Weems, where it's going to have the background design. So from the exhibit back in 2021, we're pretty much going to make the city logo minus the wording with the seagulls, 1/2 inch aluminum, powder coated. So since 2021, staff has created consistent branding elements with fonts and colors. And we thought that might be important to bring back at this time so that our logo can meet that standard. So the font you see on the top, that is the font that's adopted with the new standards. The font at the bottom is the one that the engineer designed in the original exhibit in 2021. So it's decision-making time. So we've got 4 choices lined up for you. Number 1 is the original design. Number 2 is the actual city logo, exact city, City of LaPorte seal. Number 3 with the new font and the city seal. And number 4, little something different. But all of these, all the ones that meet the branding standards include the actual city seal. So I'm ready to answer any questions.
Mr. Martin?
Ray, the difference between number 2 and number 3 and 3, is that the case? Or is that
That's just the way it's placed
Okay.
in the slide. It doesn't change anything. Like I said earlier, those concrete panels have already been cast. So that part of the logo is not going to change.
Thank you.
I've got a question for you, Ray.
Yes, sir.
The seagulls are backlit, correct?
So, yes, sir. Actually, all of that's the artwork was intended to be backlit with solar powered lighting.
Okay, including the city of LaPorte, if we go with option 3?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. All right. Mr. McCauley?
And you say backlit on the city of LaPorte in option 3 because the city of LaPorte will be raised off of the concrete in aluminum letters as well, like the birds?
That's correct. Yeah, it'll be pin mounted. I think it's like 6 or 8 inches off the wall.
Ms. Williams?
Would number 4 also be backlit, the rich in history built on community?
Yes.
Mr. Ingleton?
I guess I just got a comment. It looks like 1 and 3, we're repeating ourselves. Well, you're not repeating yourself on 1, but on number 3, you're repeating the city of LaPorte inside the logo. Then you're putting it out to the right again. Just feel like that's a little redundant. And option 4 is a little bit more unique to the whole community. That's my only comment. So I'd be in favor of number 4 just because it's a little bit more unique and fits the community as well without repeating it within
Mr. Alexander?
I can
you
name
good?
three.
I would just add to the conversation that the tagline in option 4, rich in history, built on community, if that ever changed for the city, then we have to change the sign.
I was thinking the same thing. So,
Yep.
I mean, we can't change our logo for the next 20, 30 years if we do that. I mean, how long do
No.
these things last? I mean, 20, 30 years, right?
It'll be there for a while.
Yeah.
So it would be up to you if you want to change the city logo.
Be out there with a chisel.
That's why we're bringing it back. We want to make sure we get it right when we get this fabricated and get it installed.
So I agree with Councilman Ingleton about the redundancy if we go with number 3, but how big is the inside the circle there? I mean, is that really going to be that large?
9 feet.
Pretty big.
Think so?
So let's go back to,
Circle is 9 feet.
yeah, so that, yeah, it's actually,
feet.
Yeah,
it's actually
Pretty
pretty
big.
large.
you can see it from the golf course.
I like 2.
So yes, the
Yeah.
lettering inside the city seal would be smaller.
Right.
As it's designed now, I think the lettering outside the city seal is like 13 inches tall.
Okay.
I think we have a good example of number 2 on the back wall back there
Pretty much.
behind Richard's head. I think it looks pretty good. I'd go with number 2.
How tall are you, Richard?
You know,
Yeah, I kind of like option 2.
Anybody want to make a motion?
Make a motion, we adopt option number 2.
Second.
We have a motion by Mr. Martin, a second by Mr. McCauley. All in favor, say aye. Any opposed? Motion carries.
thank you.
Thank you, Ray.
Item 8C, presentation, discussion, and possible action to adopt ordinance 2025-4093, authorizing the issuance of up to $13,500,000 of certificates of obligation by the city of LaPorte, Texas, for a public works facility.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. We want to start out by saying that we're very excited that we got a AAA rating. So we just want you to know that thank you for all of your hard efforts. They all paid off. And at the June 9th meeting, we came to you and asked to do a notice of intent. So we did that. And we asked to issue up to $13 million worth of debt. And today we were able to go out on the market and get an underwriter to approve that debt for us. An underwriter at $13.1 million. It was sold at a premium, and we got a premium of $505,000, so we only got to pay back $12,495. So the AAA is working already. If you have any questions about the structure, Mr. Henderson from RBC is here tonight. Our bond attorneys are here also. Any questions about approving the sale?
Congratulations on the AAA.
Thank you, sir.
Good job.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks for trying to keep
Go ahead,
us
Bob.
corralling us.
If I might add to his comments about the AAA, this is something that the city administration and you as elected officials have been working towards gaining for many, many years. We had a very in-depth conversation meeting during the rating meeting and then follow up. What I find particularly heartwarming, as I guess the best word, is if you read the Standard & Poor's rating report, what it will say is that there are a couple of dry metrics that have to do with just ratios that the city of LaPorte didn't quite hit the AAA metrics. They gave you AAA anyway because of strong management, consistent performance, great leadership. So you got the AAA without just checking all the boxes. You didn't check all the boxes, but the strength that you have with respect to your leadership, both elected officials and administration, is what you got you over that line. So it's very exciting for me to see that happen.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Need a motion, I think, Lee? Or approve the sale? And I think you need to get it signed before you leave? Okay.
Yeah, there's one document, the bond purchase agreement. Sure. There's one document that we'd like to leave with tonight signed, called the bond purchase agreement, after approval.
I'll make a motion that we accept the ordinance 2025-4093 to issue into the certification of obligation bond.
Second.
We have a motion by Mr. Ingleton, a second by Ms. Williams. All in favor, say aye. Any opposed? Motion carries.
Ordinance 2025-4093.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Ordinance authorizing the issuance of City of LaPorte, Texas certificates of obligation, Series 2025, and containing other related matters.
Yes, sir.
Item 8D, presentation, discussion, and possible action to appoint or reappoint members of city boards, committees, and possible appointment or the consideration of the appointment of Tom Green, whose application was provided to you last week after the agenda was posted. There is an item to consider. One of the primary members for the Keep LaPorte Beautiful Committee was appointed and has resigned. That was for the position of at-large A, and so Councilperson Lunsford has suggested moving Josh Garashko from his alternate 6 position to that one. Should that be approved by the council, that would open the alternate 6 position, and Mr. Green has applied for this, so the proposal is that he be considered for that appointment. And of course, the alternates are not appointed by any particular seat, so. And I'd be happy to answer questions on any of the other proposed.
With number 6, when we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in front of them.
The council person whose seat opened up in the 9 was asked who they might wish to consider for appointment, and that was the name that was selected.
All right, thanks. Mr. Lunsford, would you like to make a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the position, the seat for position A.
Did you make an appointment for all?
Oh, yeah.
You want to make a motion for all?
Make a motion for all of the applicants to the board.
Second. Second.
We have a motion by Mr. Lunsford, a second by Ms. Williams. All in favor, say aye. Any opposed? Motion carries.
Item 9A, a report of the Fiscal Affairs Committee meeting held on July 28th.
Yeah, Mayor and Council, the Fiscal Affairs Committee met at 4:30 today. Had a fairly light agenda. Received a report of the third quarter investment report. Very good report. Staff's doing a great job. And received the quarterly purchasing card report, P card for short. And that was in very good order. And you've already heard Michael sharing the good news about the finance AAA bond rating. So excellent work by the city staff. Yes, the LaPorte Development Corporation's next.
Yes, sir, 9B.
Yes, elected a president and vice president, Nancy Ojeda remained president, and John Blakemore as vice president. They extended the 60-day period for the Frank Collision Repair Enhancement Grant. Also amended a couple of projects there at the golf course to switch some funds around to address some improvements there. Also received the fiscal Laporte Development Corporation budget, and also published a public hearing notice for a lot of the capital improvement projects. I'm not going to read all 16 of them, but anyways, I will say that they do touch all parts of the city, which is a great thing. And that pretty much concludes your report.
Item 9C, fund balance report.
Okay, the general fund, oh, hold on. See if I can get it up. There it is. So the general fund balance is 547 days as of May. And we're thinking that by the end of the fiscal year, we'd be down to around 378 days. You know, we get all of our money up front, right? Then we spend it up. So, okay, cool. You guys know. All right. So, I'm sorry, are there any questions about the general fund?
Clark said that's what's at his house too. So.
All right, I get that. Any questions about the general fund? And then the utility fund is at 154 days. You know, we all know that the utility fund is being subsidized by the general fund. That's by design. So are there any questions on this particular fund balance? All right, thank you.
Michael, what's our bond rating?
AAA.
Good job, sir. Thank you.
Item 9D, administrative reports.
All right. Yes, we are AAA rated. So I do want to take this opportunity and thank everybody. For those of you who were around in about 2020 or so, we're upgraded from AA to AA plus, with an eye toward eventually getting to AAA. And so I'm incredibly pleased and proud of everybody, and that is a collective everybody, finance department, council, that has had a role in making it happen. At the meeting, we were asked, what's the next step? Well, this is it. AAA is the top. So we're really, really proud of everybody. Yeah, we reserve a round of applause for that. Awesome. Thank you. And on top of that, because we've got one of the best finance departments on this side of the Jordan River. Today, I received a notice from the Government Treasurers Organizations of Texas, and it says that we've been awarded the Certificate of Distinction to the City of LaPorte for its investment policies. Members of the review committee congratulate the City of LaPorte for its commitment to maintaining a comprehensive written investment policy that meets the criteria set forth by the Government Treasurers Organization of Texas. So again, congratulations for an excellent policy, and they thanked us for participating. So again, so kudos to our finance folks that help keep us on track.
All right, Ms. Williams.
I do actually want to speak today.
Ooh.
I never do this. So the community of Lomax would like to express to the police department, Chief Pullig and Assistant Chief Bowles, our appreciation for the truck enforcement that has been going on Sins Road and the reduced amount of trucks that are coming through Battleground Estates. We really do appreciate the efforts that y'all have done in helping us curb the issues that bring those trucks right down those 3 main streets in Lomax. So we'd like to say thank you.
Mr. Ingleton?
Hey, I'd like to congratulate the recipients for the years of service, especially Yolanda Standy for her 30 years with the city of LaPorte in her retirement. I know she's been a dare officer for a very long time, and only question I have for you, what's going to happen to the car? Next dare officer. But anyways, no, I know over the years, I went to a number of her presentations there at the schools, and she does a fantastic job. And other than that, congratulations to the finance department on their AAA bond rating, which is extremely good. And also allows the city to do a lot of wonderful things for all the citizens we serve too. So we're fortunate because I know at HGAC, I know a lot of the towns struggle with their finances, not allowed to be able to give employees increases. And it's always a good thing to brag about City of LaPorte on what a great opportunities we have here. So, good work, everyone.
Mr. Bentley?
Dr. Howard Act to follow. I just want to congratulate again the finance people for the great job they're doing, getting us in AAA or getting us in AAA. Thanks very much, and all the city employees we recognize this evening for their years of service. And Mr. Borja's not here anymore, but congratulations on getting it bachelor's and good luck on going forward with your master's. Thank you.
Mr. Lunsford?
Yep, same for me. Congratulations, finance again. Can't say it enough. City manager's office, all of you that had a part in it, great job. That's it.
Thank you, sir. Mr. McCauley?
Same thing. Congrats, Michael Corby, for that AAA rating. Great job. Thank you.
Mr. Guerra?
And I'd also like to congratulate all our recipients for the years of service. Officer Stanley, as far as being a school officer and a DARE officer, we don't know, being former law enforcement, those officers really make an impression on our younger kids and actually put us as law enforcement in I guess, in a good eye with the public. And also, I'd like to congratulate Michael on the AAA rating, and we're still waiting for you at the gym, by the way. I'm just saying.
Mr. Martin?
Yeah, again, Michael, congratulations to you and your whole department. I've been on council since 2010 when we were AA, and have always asked, how do we get to the next step? Well, we're there. So thank you, guys. Yvonne Stanley, congratulations on your retirement. You've done a wonderful job for the city. Jeff Flemings and Andy Davila, congratulations to you as well. Also, Jeremy Borja on his completing his bachelor's degree. Look forward to hearing that he gets his master's in a year or two, maybe. And then finally, I just wanted to acknowledge Pastor Brandon Brewer with Lighthouse Church. You got some big shoes to fill there. We miss Pastor Dunn, and thank you guys for the desserts once a month. We appreciate it.
That's Joey Whitener. Mr. Brewer couldn't come. Joey.
Lighthouse, is he with Lighthouse?
He is with Lighthouse, yes.
Sorry about that. Thank you.
He's a good sport. Corby, did you have anything? Okay, all right. I want to also thank Officer Stanley, the impact. Chief, you said it right. We have no idea the impact that she had on those kids, the positive impact, especially at such a young age. Also, Chief, almost every morning I get a text or a phone call or a picture of somebody with an 18-wheeler pulled over on Sims Road. You're like the most popular guy, and I think they're going to build a statue to you at the arena or something over in Lomax. They're very happy with you right now. You could run for mayor at this point. So, Johnny, really, Johnny, thank you for the fantastic hurricane workshop you put on today. Outstanding. We had, 3 or 4 different cities there. It was a really good workshop. Appreciate that. And finally, if you do not subscribe to the Texas Municipal Court's Best Practice Municipal Traffic Safety Initiatives magazine, you're missing out, because LaPorte was recognized in there for the community involvement that they participate in all around town. The beauty of that is Houston was an honorable mention, and that's where our judge's mom works. So our judge outperformed her own mother. So with that, we will go into executive session. Oh, sorry. Go ahead. You want to read it?
Item 11A, the Texas Government Code, Section 551.074, Personnel Matters, deliberation regarding the appointment, employment, evaluation, reassignment, duties, discipline, or dismissal of a public officer or employee. City Council will meet in closed session with City Manager Corby Alexander.
We will go into executive session at 7:35.
Fiscal LPDC middle. No, what is the participation? All right, thank you. On time. It's recorded. Oh, yeah. That's a good one. Chief, you know a couple of very well and like the names. Which is right. I was on. Now, these guys are texting me today, shooting pictures of each other. See you, sir. Nice meeting you, sir.
All right, sir. Be safe out there.
All right, guys. All right, take care.
Yeah, because some of them, make sure y'all, I still wanted to know, I didn't touch the way. Those are calling from the past. Yeah, so hopefully we get all. I didn't know, like, I don't want to even kind of like work. Like the county. Cover being
Time and a half for me, time and a half for them. They did a good job.
Yeah, I got your email. Yes, ma'am. Like I did last year, not the same for us. We can't just give them something that's worth a lot more. Where we go, just, like, nah, I go a bit more. What? Hey, buddy, what are you doing? Well, I texted that Brittany, something about, so she heard something on arm force, or whatever, about how and so like, I seen it, and then I was reading more of it, and it was like, wording it, that they're all happy to see you. Guy was playing SWAT, girl getting mad. So it takes a pretty good story out. I really thought about you, Jessica, and I said, oh crap, Jessica finally did it. And I was like, man, she got Chris. And then like, then I realized you were here this past week, and I felt relieved, like, you're not gonna. Oh, yeah. She wouldn't know. Yeah. Me and Hannah watched me play blackjack on the bird. Yeah, yeah. And then like the guy like he sat next to me like, oh, had to go pull another $25,000. I'm like, Chris is like, this is our life, man. I was like, no, bro, I'm going back to that, yeah, bro. Not let you influence me to this. Yeah. Okay. And I always have bad luck. I have a daily amount. I've lost that today. I'm done. I did that one time in Florida. Yeah. I lost my money. She was like, come inside, and I was like, are you gonna give me more money? No, I was like, I'm gonna stay right here. All right. Good job, Mike. All that matters is
Not the first one, only the last one, and unfortunately, we don't. But, please, at any point, he has an extension. All right. This is my order, got my city cell phone, so at each point, feel like navigating the surface, where you feel like, feel free to talk to me. Especially rate, and I think most, like, even for the last 5 or 6 years, really hard. Yeah. I mean, literally, like, oh, that's the police part of the room today. So, those are late. They're gonna be there, like, long, the officers will be there. Yeah, we got that. Yeah, don't think it's that civil guy. Really crosses the line, or you know, very heavy on, you know, it could be a point that just like, they were like an LP record, but, you know, we'll get that. Great shot. But it's not, then you need, I'm gonna do some right now. Yeah, oh, yeah. Again, too much, let us know if we're going to have one for detail, make sure it's part one right there. That wouldn't see all this. It's both. Yeah, possibly everything. Right, there's no, it should be full profit. Possibly be, if you, well, we don't outside, all the children. This belongs to the court. We have recently, all the laws. I know that we're bringing up my son, but anyway, we're saying all of that, it's both. You have both things. Civil law, also. Okay. Load up and ban the moment. Taking civil courts and doing a half hour without a check. Or you get them on this problem set out by that. You have any, yeah, there are some. Yeah, in terms of, I mean, it sounds, I'm also looking to make sure that because random fire light or emoji. Yeah. She knows permit. Yeah, I'm good. Yeah, and so, yeah, so we don't sites, usually driveways. You know where your property line is, we have requirements, but we have requirements. So, yeah, that's
So the driveway kind of necks out like this, and you got the driveway. So when I'm talking about, yeah, so the, yes, it has to be the way, and then and neck out to the, to what he believes is wrong. Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty common, but a lot of people think, oh, well, that's expensive, that's what we're not gonna find, but yeah. Yeah. Make sure there's no question. So we'll look at all that and I'll talk to her.
That's right, just stop it.
Why are you doing that? Do you want to go? Yeah. Well, anyway, actually.
Yeah, again, yes, I. Just want you to know, we are being as patient. It's not at that place.
Yeah. What meeting was it? Fiscal Affairs?
LPDC.
Oh. Who's watching that? Yeah. It's
Apparently,
eventually it's gonna, eventually escalate it. Yeah.
I know what I know what I mean. Okay, now know the report developed for PPP. I'm gonna take them on. 7 days in, I show him off. He doesn't, then we can come back second time. Okay, he told us to get it to deadline. Now I'm officially telling him deadline. Now we got a war. Otherwise you take anything, but now I'm telling you. All right. Yes, sir. And then it goes to the supplemental traffic. And those are kind of we wonderful things that whatever that we do, whatever it comes down, and then allow y'all. Or civil people.
Yeah, that's the stuff, yeah. Yes.
5 years, I think. They were police staff. Yeah, police staff, or in training. Yeah. 5 years.
Yeah, 6 months. That's something probably should have.
Everyone. One time, no, fully training.
Yes.
The older that you
Yes.
are, so, yeah. Each fall, the round of time for me. Say, I got a pretty good hours. My property, you need to trim it, whatever. Be down.
Yeah, money made it.
We
So just leave that.
We
Yes.
literally see,
Yeah.
where people have had,
Oh, yes.
almost like temperature was straight up from the, straight on in the air. That's true. Straight up.
Yeah, because if your tree overhangs onto someone else's property, then yeah.
Right now, we plan to be, that's for the trees, we already have space for the page.
Yeah.
Around it.
Yep.
So that's exactly.
Yeah. So yeah.
Well, yeah, you have my number and, just, I can say, it's so. Yes. Incredibly hot. Probably, so. Yes. That's why I asked, so glad you're. Yeah. All right.
Have a great night. Thank you.
Thanks, chief.
Yeah. Have a good night.
Yeah, just Yep.
Obviously.
Yeah, if we need it.
Or just tell you that, caught Gus.
No.
So Friday, I'm out rolling around as
Yeah.
I do. And I went down Eastman, and I'm coming back, and I see the dump truck. Where is he going? Right. And so we get back to our talk. And so talking right in the middle of the road. I get out of my place. Hey man, the truck route, where you going? You go, I'm going right there. I said, no, you're not.
Ooh, yeah.
I said, no.
Yeah.
I said, back up, let me talk to you real quick. So I got him on the road. I said, listen, here. Right now, the call you're making, you are not off the truck route. I said, but if you brought that load to an unpermitted builder site, I said, you're now in violation. And I'm telling you, I said, I can't tell you not to drop it. But what's gonna happen if you do drop it? As soon as you pull out of there, I'm gonna write you a ticket for, builder without a permit. I said, so, he's like, oh, no, I want no part of that, right? So then I asked, where's this third permit? Down here at Cedar, where they're tunneling under 46. So that's right. So, I'm coming back out there. I called people, hey, there's not. Yeah, I said, oh, that. So I went back over this morning, I'm on my way. I live right down the river. You can do it, so I'm coming out. I see 5 dump trucks out there. Back around. Yeah. Okay, so they just want to make sure you're not in trouble. What's the plan today? And, who's in charge? Where the truck owner was in there. He said, oh, we're going to South Island Station, new build. And I went, well, I'm not in permitting or zoning. I said, typically, a new construction, it may be. Yeah. I don't know. I said, but I called Kurt with, he's the guy. And, so I thought, but I said, really, it's the first new builder. Yeah. This guy's all out of conferences, but well, I called us Friday and talked to him. I said, so you're probably the same guy that already had permit or not permit contract. Yeah. So he's the one, he's the contractor, the dirt contractor. I said, oh, no, I'm in dirt. And he just, of course, but it's $9 a load. Heck, yeah. I don't have to pay you about it.
It's the way to do it.
So
you got a nice little racket going on.
Anyhow,
Yeah.
that's what's going on. But I'll never very good.
Yeah.
No. And then, yeah.
Just make sure.
And all that stuff. So, anyway, so hey, we opened the code enforcement on the South Idaho. To do anything.
To do anything, yeah.
So they're just in a house or something.
Yeah, they are.
Without.
Yeah. Nobody said that, I was like, oh crap, yeah. Yeah, no, they don't.
So. Yeah. Anyhow, we're, appreciate it.
And I don't know.
Recommend it. Go back and I'll say that. You can't drop dirt. We're cold.
Can't do it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Go somewhere else. Go somewhere else, yeah. Not anymore. Can't do it.
If them can provide us, that can be awesome. I've got a ticket in with that, regarding,
They can hold it. With the whole fine.
I'm so confused with the way it started this fast. I was gonna have to come in and put you in here. You were just running to get it done. I was like, no. But no, that's not exactly how it works. That's the things initiate. And we'll try. Yeah. It may be something, if they're crossing international lines, then that's federal crime or state lines. Yeah. You never know. I don't know what was said or how. We don't know that. Job security. But bottom line is the minimum that's correct. Right. True. And, so that's a minimum. Whether they go Zoom or they stood up in the middle of the. Right. We can ask you to leave, but we still follow them. Very fast, but I have to escort you from the building. Get you in a road. So yeah, and then based on what state. And or this way. That's all you know. Yeah. I'm glad you were watching.
Yeah. That's basically what I ordered on that. Ran up. Everyone who was going back. Yeah. Which was. All right. All right. Sir. No. There was a bunch of, we had ranged from big highway posters to individuals. And then, of course, you got that here in Knoxville. Yeah. Oh, that's makes me giggle. We are. Yeah, till the meeting's done. Yeah, just like that. Oh, dang it. Yes. Oh.
We are back from executive session at 8:08.
Make a motion to increase the city manager's performance review by points.
We're just saying we gave instruction to,
You gave instructions to HR.
we have a motion by Mr. Ingleton, a second by Mr. McCauley. All in favor, say aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Meeting is adjourned at 8:09. Oh. Pretty good now.